SpongeBob in recovery. I'm going to show y'all how this shit works. So, SpongeBob in recovery. The fun fact is, this cartoon, SpongeBob SquarePants, the 7 main characters of that cartoon were created, based, and inspired by the 7 deadly sins. This is actually true. So I made something of it, and this is what I made. So, let's figure out which character goes with each unique deadly sin. So, we're going to start with SpongeBob.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Whoa there! We still have a few more topics to cover first.
Obviously, the answer's already there. He's lust. Now, settle down, adults, okay? Because the lust I'm talking about is love. I ain't talking about no sexual shit, okay? We're gonna leave that shit out. We're gonna talk about SpongeBob here, damn it. So, lust meaning overly loving something. And as SpongeBob, as you can see, he overly loves everything. He's so blinded by this love, by this lust, that he doesn't realize the truth of what's going on. He's blind. He's literally blinded by love. His so-called best friend, Squidward. SpongeBob loves Squidward so much because he's blinded by that love that he has for Squidward, the friendship. Squidward hates the hell out of him. I mean, it's quite obvious, right? But SpongeBob just don't get it. I mean, you could slap him around and he's going to still be your best friend. He's lustful. That's SpongeBob's deadly sin. That could get you in trouble. Being blinded by love, someone could screw you over pretty easy. Think about it. So let's move on to the next one. Down below SpongeBob, his pet snail, Gary. As you can see in the picture, he got a lot of food there, right? Well, Gary's deadly sin is gluttony. Gluttony means overindulging. In Gary's case, he overindulges in food. And if you remember the one episode when they had the snail snacks, SpongeBob got Gary the snail snacks. Listen, Gary went so crazy over those snail snacks. It was like snail crack is what it was, right? That motherfucker was feeding for that shit. Gary was all over. You never seen a snail move so quick before. Until Gary seen those snail snacks. That was like drugs for a snail. So, but like Gary's deadly sin is overindulging, which they call gluttony. And then, so that's his case. Now, let's move on to the next one. Down below, that little plankton down there, right? Does anyone really know what a plankton is? I think they shine like diamonds on top of water. There's a bunch of them all together. Anyway, look it up on Google. So plankton, he's envy. I mean, look at the picture. Look at the picture. Because he's looking at what Mr. Crab has. If you see every episode you see Plankton in, he's always up to something to steal the Krabby Patty formula. He envies what Mr. Crab has. All that time and energy Plankton puts into stealing somebody else's Krabby Patty formula, Plankton, if he was to put his time and energy into creating his own recipe, he'd probably be successful. But as you know how the story goes, Plankton never gets the Krabby Patty formula. When will people learn, you know? And that's how dangerous envy can be. Because for Plankton, you know, he's going to waste his life trying to get something he ain't going to get. When he could have spent his life creating his own stuff, his own recipe, and have a successful restaurant. But no, he's too busy being consumed by his envy for Mr. Krabs. That's just dangerous. You wonder why that's his deadly sin. So let's continue. Let's go up. And to the other side to Mr. Krabs holding on that money bag, right? Mr. Krabs is a greedy ass son of a gun, ain't he? I'm telling you what, if Mr. Krabs seen a penny laying on the floor and a little kid was on a bike about to ride over it without training wheels, Mr. Krabs will run over, push that little kid off and save that penny. He'd be like, oh, that was close. That's Mr. Krabs. They actually had an episode. He's so greedy with his money. He talks with it. He swims in his money like that duck on DuckTales. Remember that shit? Remember that back in the day cartoon DuckTales? He's swimming in that gold and shit. That's how Mr. Krabs is. He loved his money so much. He wanted to have conversations with it. He wanted the money to talk back. So he made a wish for money to talk back. But that wish kind of backfired on him because, well, Money kept telling Mr. Krabs, spend us, spend us, spend us. He didn't want to spend. He was so cheap, he wanted to hold on to his money. So that was kind of backfired on him. Point being, Mr. Krabs is a greedy son of a bitch, is what he is. But I like him though. He's cool as hell. Anyway, so Mr. Krabs is definitely greedy. We all know that, right? So let's continue down to Patrick. Dear goodness gracious. So Patrick, I mean, he's sloth. He's lazy. And I think the laziness really comes from his brain. Like, his brain's so lazy, it doesn't want to do anything. So therefore, it doesn't think. You know, I'm not sure if Patrick knows what thinking is, but he should try it sometime. But I remember one episode, okay, he's so lazy, he entered a competition in one episode, who could do nothing the most? Let me say that again, because I want to make sure everyone knows you did not mishear anything. Who can do nothing the most? It was a lazy competition. Guess who won that shit? That's right, Patrick. Because he's lazy. He's sloth. He's slow. He's sluggish. And I still think it's his brain. Slow. And like everything else just doesn't know what to do. Anyway, Patrick is definitely sloth. So let's move on to the next one down. Oh, God, this dickhead. Okay. We all know him. Squidward. We all know he's wrath. He's a pissed off dude. He's a miserable person. He reminds me of a dry drunk. That's what he reminds me of, is a dry drunk. A miserable person that hates seeing the world happy and wants to bring the happy world down to miserability, if that's even a word. I just made that shit up, I think. Anyway, I mean, Squidward, he's a straight up dick. He's like that one asshole in the bar. Every bar got an asshole. Squidward's that asshole for like every bar. Well, he's the asshole in Bikini Bottom. That's for damn sure. Go ask the people down there; they'll tell you. But I mean, you got to think about. You got to put yourself in Squidward's shoes. If he had shoes, he don't have shoes. But if he did, put yourself in Squidward's shoes and think about it. If you had Patrick, okay, you have Patrick and SpongeBob as your next door neighbors, you'd be fucking pissed off too. They would drive you insane, like beyond imagination. I mean, look what poor Squidward got to go through. But damn, you need to stop playing that damn flute. That shit is horrible. That shit gonna break someone's ears. Even underwater, it sounds even worse. Anyway, that's Squidward for you. Pissed off Mr. Wilson, like on Dennis the Menace, you know? And he's a dick. Squidward's a dick. He's wrath. Let's move on. I think I got that clear. So, oh my gosh. Last and definitely not least, Sandy Chakes. Obviously, she's from, she's from Texas, but obviously her deadly sin is pride. Why? She's so proud of that Texas. So proud what she knows, what she accomplished. And she has every right to be proud, but she, you know, blows it up and shit. She lets it be known. That's not being humble. It's better to be humble than it is to be prideful. But Sandy, she proud as hell. But she a badass chick though. Cause listen, she's into science. I love science. You know what I'm saying? She got the one unique house under the bottom of the sea in Bikini Bottom. She got a globe. She live in a globe. Who lives in a globe under the sea? Sure in hell not SpongeBob. He live in a pineapple. Patrick, I don't know how it works, but he somehow lives under a rock. But anyway, Sandy, she a badass chick. I love her little science experiments because I'm a man of science. I love science. But Sandy, I'm going to say she's like my favorite character because she just like buck wild and shit. She's from Texas. Of course you're going to be buck wild. Sandy, pride. So, with all those, now we got all the characters figured out which character has their own unique deadly sin. You're probably never going to watch SpongeBob SquarePants ever again, but it might be better. I might have ruined it for you. I don't know. But since you're here, you might as well continue. So, there's a question at the bottom. Ask yourself, which character are you most like and why? If you want to answer, go ahead and leave it in the comments, you know. And I'm just going to tell you, me personally, I'm going to say, look, watch my other YouTube videos. Make sure you like and subscribe. You watch my other YouTube videos. You see how I am. I got to say I'm SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. He's such a loving character. So kind. Puts up with a lot of bullshit, but doesn't even know it. SpongeBob, he's like, listen, put it this way. If someone wants to piss me off, go ahead. Because whoever pisses me off, I'm going to make them my brand new Squidward, and I will be their SpongeBob. I will kill them with kindness. That's what my grandma taught me anyway, and that's pretty much what I do, and that shit works for real. You be so nice to someone who's so ignorant to you, and you tell them, that's okay, I forgive. It'll drive them fucking nuts. I'm serious. They'll go home and lose sleep over that shit. I'll go home and go to fucking sleep and think nothing of it. They're like, ain't no motherfucker gonna piss me off. I'm like SpongeBob for real. I kill a motherfucker with kindness, but that's about as far as I go. Seriously. That's being a smart ass. I love SpongeBob. I think everyone does, except for Squidward, of course. Anyway, that would be my character. And now that we got all our little friends down there, okay, plus more, we got to go meet them down there. But you know what? I don't think you guys and girls want to walk all the way down to that town down there, because that's kind of a far walk. It looks closer than what it is. That shit far. No need to worry though, and it's completely free. I already ordered us a ride. I ordered an Uber and a Lyft at the same time. I want to see who comes here quick. And I'm just going to say, be like, it's one of those first come, first serve kind of deals. So leave it in the comment. Who you think is going to get here first, Uber or Lyft? Leave that in the comments. I just wonder. But you got to be quick though, so it's kind of time's up, because I could see him. He coming. He coming. Yeah, boy. That's all right. We about to go down. What? Was you expecting a car? You do know we're under the sea, under the ocean, right? The cars don't work down here. Down here, we ride hard, and we ride in boats. That's what we do. That's how we do it down here in Bikini Bottom. So come on, Long. Hop aboard, and let's see what's going on down there. We about to have one hell of a time. See you there in a few minutes. While you take this free ride that I paid for free, you go ahead and like and subscribe. And by the time you're done doing that, you'll be ready to see what's up next. Here we go. Let's hop on in.
Good morning, my darlings. You're coming home with me. Did someone say money? I swear that's what I heard.
Here's our life savings.
I landed in money nirvana. How much money are we talking about? Success! Money, money, money.
Don't never let them come try to take that money. Make so much money that they hate that money. Have left to the bank, but it ain't that.
That's practically giving money away. I just made more money than I know what to do with.
Everyone enjoy that little party on the boat? All right, well, we're back. And, well, Mr. Krabs was nice enough to rent us the Krusty Krab, of course, for a very high price. He overcharges like crazy, y'all. And then he says, what I paid to rent the Krusty Krab, he says he gives us these magical, invisible, like, mugs and stuff, right? Look at that. That is pretty cool. But he says, I got a deal because every refill for a cup of coffee is $10. What kind of price is that? Is this like Pittsburgh prices or something? That's just crazy. You know, this is Bikini Bottom. We should get a deal. But anyway, we're here. So let's do the second part. Of course, the whole project is called SpongeBob in Recovery, right? Well, the first part was the fun part. Now for the part that no one wants to hear, of course, the recovery part. SpongeBob in Recovery. That's why I named it that. So what we're going to do, like, okay, so at the top of the page, it says, how did each of the 7 deadly sins play a role in your act of addiction? I'm just going to do this based on myself, how I do it. And then if y'all want to do it, go ahead and have fun with it. Leave it in the comments if you would. Have fun. But, so, lust, like SpongeBob, who overly loves everything, that was, in my active addiction, that was me. I overly loved that drug, you know, that DOC, drug of choice. And I chose that over everything in my active addiction. That's negative as hell. And I had quite a few people tell me this reminds them kind of like the 4th step, because you got to write down character defects in your 4th step in a 12-step program. I don't work the 12 steps because, as you can see, I got my own thing going on. So, but if you do work the 4th step, or if you do this activity, I would always say anytime you write something negative down about yourself, make sure you balance that out, because negativity, you know, you don't want to have a negative, you don't want to have a list of negative things. That's a negative Nancy. Nobody wants negative Nancy lingering around, right? So if you do this activity, or even on the 4th step, I highly recommend it. For every negative, make sure you write a positive. That way you got a balance there, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, you don't want a list of negative things and not one good thing to say about yourself. You wonder why someone would want to get high. Shit. Bring you down. Be like, oh, if I'm that much of a piece of shit, why not get high? That's what people think. See, you got to think in the mind of an addict. You know what I mean? Fuck a certificate. I got experience. So let's do this shit. So, yeah, that's how I was with lust. I just overly love that drug. I picked it over everything. But now that I'm clean, the positive thing about that, and because of everything I've been through, all the rehab and all that stuff, I have obtained a lot of patience and self-control in like every department. It's wonderful being clean. I don't want to lose that, so I continue to stay clean. Moving on to the next thing, sloth. Okay, Patrick, lazy, slow, just whatever, brainless. And in my active addiction, my slothfulness was like shit, man. I'll tell you what. When I was using, man, I was what they call a dysfunctional addict. I was not getting shit done. You'd be lucky if I picked up my phone, man. I just couldn't handle none. I was dysfunctional. So, yeah, I didn't get shit done. So now that I got clean, I get stuff done. I get more than what I need to get done. But I will say I could get done more, but I choose not to, because I got more than enough free time on my hands to get even more done, but I choose not to. I just like to live freely. And so I can definitely work on sloth. I do procrastinate a lot. That's slothful. I still, even being clean, I got some things to work on, but it's shit hell of a lot better than using, because it was just a mess. Drugs just make a mess. That's all it does. Make a mess. It's like a dog shitting on the floors. That's what drugs are. It's a bunch of bullshit. So let's continue. Let's go to wrath. Speaking of that, so, wrath. Squidward, always pissed off, angry. That was pretty much me when I realized what I did, because usually I don't realize what I'm doing to my addiction until I go broke and say, shit, I ain't got enough money to get more. And then it's like, I'm pissed at myself. And have anyone get in the way of you getting high? Somebody try to put a damper on your getting high session? Maybe family and people who actually care and love about you, who didn't want you to destroy yourself, so they try to step in the way of you getting high, and you just get mad at them, and then they get mad at you because they don't know how to handle you. Yeah, I did that. That sucks, you know. But being clean, you ain't got to worry about that shit, because you ain't got to lie to defend yourself. Then when you get caught lying, you ain't got to get pissed because your dumb ass got caught lying. I got caught lying quite a few times, you know, and then I get mad at that person because I got caught lying. I should have never been lying to begin with. But when I'm clean, no need to lie. No need to lie, because I got nothing to defend. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm living life. You ain't got to lie about the truth. I just speak truth now, and that's what you got to look forward to. Because when you tell the truth, everything just come together, let me tell you. It's such a better life than using. You ain't got to lie, because every time you tell one lie, you got to make up multiple lies in the future to cover that one lie you told like a long time ago. Because you want to defend addiction. You don't want no one to know you getting high. Fuck that. Just don't get high. I know, easier said than done. Anyway, moving on. Where was he at? Where's he at? Oh. Yeah, so the good thing about wrath, I have no anger. I'm like so peaceful. I got a safe haven, heaven on earth. I have no reason to be mad. But like I said, moving on, let's go to greed. Oh, in my active addiction, I was the greediest motherfucker you would ever meet. Because listen, I am not going to the dope man and spend $100 just to throw someone a 20 off. He was like, oh, can I get some? Can I get something? Be like, dude, I didn't come here to give shit out. That's why I get my shit and go home. I can't deal with that riffraff bullshit. But anyway, now that I'm clean, I don't got to deal with that. So I don't have to. I mean, I got plentiful. Everything I have, I got plentiful. I'm good. I'm comfortable. And I'm not greedy. I don't think I am right now. I'm sure I got a little bit, but nothing I can think of because I got nothing to be greedy with. Definitely not drugs. I ain't got drugs to greed with, right? So it's so loving being clean. So less greedy too. Moving on to greed, who was yeah, of course, Mr. Krabs, right? Moneybag man. All right. Remember he was jamming on a boat, right? So Envy Plankton, who is Mr. Krabs' arch rival. Anyway, I didn't really have much envy in my active addiction, but I'd say if I did, I would just want the better dope man, I guess, the better hookup, because I want more bang for my buck, I guess. So that's pretty much it. And if I was running around playing jitney driver and you go away from your person who got money, I'm going to try to get that person's number because I want to get him his shit next time because I want to make my money. You know what I'm saying? Cut you out the middle. That's pretty much it. But as far as being clean with envy, I'll be honest. Like, I got God and Jesus in my life, so I need nothing more. There's one thing I need. I ain't going to say what that is. But I got more than what I need in life, so I really don't envy anyone what they got, But I'm good on that part. Thank God for being clean for real. Next, pride. Texas Sandy Cheeks, right? Damn. Pride can get you in trouble because I remember back in 2012 I had about like 10 months clean, right? And then all of a sudden I started taking a break from doing the right thing. And then I started slipping. And I was prideful because I thought I got this shit, and that pride got to bit me in my ass like a mean ass junkyard dog and shit. And just I ended up relapsing because I challenged the power of addiction and I was bold. I thought I could control it, couldn't. And pride got the best of me. So now these days, being clean, I know better from my own mistakes. To stay humble, and I'm humble. I'm humble about what I know. I learned a lot through these years. Oh my God. Anyway, moving on to gluttony, which SpongeBob's pet's now Gary, who's gluttony, meaning overindulging. Gary's case, food. Me, on the other hand, my drug of choice, whatever that may be. I'm still waiting for someone to ask. That's why I don't say it because no one asked yet. But anyway. I overindulged in my drug of choice. I used to space that shit out just to make my stuff last longer. You ain't making that stuff last longer. Not me. That shit was gone just in the same amount of time no matter what. I might have gained a few extra minutes just to separate the shit and it was not worth it. I did overindulge in it because I was like, oh no, I'm almost out. I better enjoy this. So I tried to indulge and enjoy. And of course, when you're on your last high, something fucks up, your lighter goes out, fucking someone knocks at the door, kills your high, or, it's always some bullshit. It's always an excuse to continue on with the relapse, right? Cut that shit out. But when I did cut that shit out and I got clean, the gluttony, the only thing I really overindulge in really is food, and oh my gosh. Which reminds me, make sure you get proper diet and a little bit of exercise. That's the best way, because when you become an old person, you're gonna feel better when you eat properly and exercise. That is so important in recovery. I don't know why these rehabs don't address that more, if they address it at all. I heard most of them, I don't even hear that stuff. But diet has a physical and mental effect on a human body, and it's so beneficial for recovery. It sure beats taking pills. But anyway, besides all that, that's the 7 deadly sins. I know I got all 7 in my life. Even being clean, I still got a little bit of each of these 7 deadly sins. But there's not enough of my life being clean that's going to consume and control my life. These sins are, I could brush them off at this point, and it's just easier to go through life. Plus, you can handle the bullshit that life throws at you on a daily basis. I know how to cope with stuff, you know? And so when I made this activity, it came up in my head back in 2012 because somebody told me the fun fact, SpongeBob and the 7 main characters were based on the 7 deadly sins. So I looked it up at some point and it was true. It's actually true. So I took that, so I made a little activity in my head maybe like a few days later or something. I was in a rehab, and I can't remember which rehab I was in at the time. This was 2012, right? And so I made a little activity about it. I had them, and 3 years later, I was in Greenbrier in Washington, and I had them print me out a poster with SpongeBob and the 7 deadly sins. So I cut their little heads out with scissors, and I got Scotch tape, put it on the back, and I had a blank piece of paper, and I put the characters, and I had to fit 7 in there. That's why it turned out the way it did, and like in the first part, and then I wrote in the 7 deadly sins in the middle with a pen. Remember, on blank, it's like they're like taped to a blank piece of paper. Anyway, so what I did was when I got home to better resources after that run, I made the SpongeBob in recovery, right? But I think when I was in rehab and I put it on paper, so I just carried on there. But just to finish this up, let's continue. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. So a lot of things were going through my head because I was going through some things back then. So I wrote this in a rehab back in 2015, and I still stand by because to me it makes sense. And this is how I feel. These 7 deadly sins that we just talked about like forever ago, because I know this video is dragging, but I'm about to bring it to an end. So check it out. These 7 deadly sins, if they affect your life in any way whatsoever, if you can minimize them, even if they're not that bad, still minimize what you can, because the less of these 7 deadly sins you have in your life, the better life's going to be. I'm telling you that right now. I'm proof, I guess I would say. I mean, nothing special, anyone can do it, but what I'm saying here is, this is how I did it. This is how I overcame my addiction. A little part of it anyway. And so I wrote this out. It said, if you think about it, each of the 12 steps is an act of love. And if there's a cure for addiction, it would be love. If we have perfect love, addiction will be non-existent to us. But we are human, and we will always fear something, and fear will keep us from having that perfect love. But having just enough love, we can overcome these 7 deadly sins and even addiction itself. So how do we bring out that love? It's easy. Just do the next small acts of kindness, and in time, your love will strengthen, and so will your recovery. And this is so true right now, because what I truly believe, the most powerfulest thing in the world is love. Me personally, the most powerfulest love in the world comes from the love of God. This is what I truly believe. And this is the foundation of all the recovery or anything I do. All the stories that I come up with, all my creations, all my ideas and thoughts, it all stems and comes right down from that Bible. That Bible was what educated me to get close to God and Jesus. Because I did some fucked up shit in the past, and I need some Jesus in my life to forgive my sins. And he does. And he does. And he'll do that for anybody. All you gotta do is ask. Even if you don't believe, go ahead and ask. It's cool. Go ask in a private room. If you worry about your non-believing friends picking on you because you're going to believe God, some guy that's floating around in the sky, do it in the privacy of your room. Just say, hey, God, be like, I don't know if you're real, but if you are, do something for me. Just say that. He'll do something. I guarantee he'll do something. I promise he'll do something. But he ain't going to do shit if you don't ask. He's actually the one who can read your mind, but why should he if you don't acknowledge him? acknowledge. Just get like a little real. I joke around when I talk shit. I do some crazy stuff with God. He's probably going to end up striking me down with lightning. But I love him to death. And I give him my soul because I know I got a soul. We all do. But anyway, to end that, I always like to bring God at the end of my thing because, like I said, if I remove God from anything I do, even if it's making a lame-ass YouTube video, okay, like this one, I hope it made y'all laugh. I fucking had so much fun making it. Excuse my language. But, even if it's just making this video, I forget what the heck I was saying. So I'm going to end this, okay? I completely forget. Oh, I always like to give God credit. Because if I remove God, I'm removing a foundation of everything I have built on top of. God is my foundation. Without him, I ain't shit. So let's do it. So the last one, I used to have this memorized, but I'm rusty with the scripture. I got to get back into memorizing scriptures. So this is one I didn't do too much. So guys, it comes from, I go by the New King James Version because it's poetic form. So check it out. Open up your Bibles, read along with this, and see what it means to you. And before I say this, I'm going to say about how 12 steps, each of the 12 steps can be an act of love. I will soon, it's on my list of videos to make to explain each of those 12 steps and how each is an act of love. Anyway, to end this, for my good, gracious, best friends up there, God and Jesus, I want to just name this scripture and hopefully someone gets some love from this. So it comes from the book from the book of 1 John chapter 4 verse 18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves torment. But he who fears has not been made perfect in love. If you get that right relationship with God and his son Jesus, you can find that perfect love, even here on earth. And if you take that to the grave in your heart, and you believe those two and have faith in them, just trust them just a little bit. That's all, just a tinge, and it'll grow from there like the mustard seed. Just plant that mustard seed in your head that these guys can be possibly real. Just consider it, that's all, and then that shit will grow. And then because you know, when your time on earth is done and all this stuff's for real and your soul is still feeling some stuff, you want to be with the winners. You don't want to be down there with the sinners. Oh, dare no. So just in case there is an afterlife, like I said, go with the winners. Forget dealing with those sinners. You don't want to be down there. And with that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope everyone had fun on this little SpongeBob adventure. I've been wanting to do this ever since the pandemic started. That's when I had the idea to start making any kind of videos, actually. If you see my cheesy and lame-ass animations. Anyway, get to know me. How I am in my YouTube videos, y'all, I swear, that's how I am in real life. Why you think I'm single? Ain't no girl handle all this energy. I'm too annoying. I'm like SpongeBob, seriously. That's why SpongeBob's single too. But you know what? I can understand SpongeBob. We don't need no girlfriend. We got God. All right, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all go, and I really hope y'all enjoy that. And make sure you do not get coffee at the Krusty Krab in Bikini Bottom ever. This shit is horrible. But I can smell the Krabby Patties, but oh my gosh, they smell so good, but I'm scared. Maybe that's the only reason why these customers keep coming back for Krabby Patties. I don't see anyone drinking anything here. But $10 coffee? Okay. Well, the mug was definitely worth $10. I mean, look at that shit there, y'all. Okay, woo, look. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Anyway, y'all, I know y'all didn't sneeze, but God bless you anyway. But I got one more question before I go. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob!